Welcome to the Y-Fact, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello, and welcome back to the Y-Fact. So, I am right now in a quarantine facility for 7 days. I came back from Australia to Sri Lanka, and I'm stuck here. No complaints, it's pretty amazing. Anyways, so this video, today I was planning on talking about desire, and I think we should try and figure out what desire is and where it comes from and why desire was formed. I was reading some psychology articles and some literature because I was trying to figure out where desire is, because I thought that maybe it's psychology has figured out where it originates from, but apparently not. They can't figure out where it is. They know what it does, but they can't figure out where it comes from or where it originates from. So I was doing a lot of thinking. And so yeah, I wrote down this definition as to what desire is. Desire originates as a component of distraction due to the realization of uncontrollability. In other words, you realize that you are not in control and that there might not even be a you. This notion can be frightening, and as a result, desire is formed as an element of distraction from the truth and also as a component which pursue control. I'll read that last bit again. This notion can be frightening, and as a result, desire is formed as an element of distraction from the truth and as a component which pursue control. So I feel like I should add ignorance as well, but later on that subject. So desire, try and explain why I wrote this down. So desire originates as a component of distraction due to the realization of uncontrollability. So I think I've spoken about the factors of uncontrollability in earlier videos. So what they are is that you are fundamentally and ultimately not in control of you, and therefore you can argue with the fact that is there even a you? Anyways, so when you talk about uncontrollability, we have to include death, breathing, sickness, aging. So these things are fundamentals of a human being, and to be honest, we aren't in control of any of them. Death, you can't control death. I might die in another 5 minutes, I don't know. The possibility is always there. I might die in another 50 years. I don't know. The possibility is always there. All in all, what I'm trying to say is that you cannot control the possibility of death. It's always around us at any time. So from the day that you are born, you're literally destined to die. So you can't control that. And aging. Honestly, I would love to stay like this for the rest of my life, but it doesn't work that way. I'm gonna age. And I can't control sickness as well. Look at the world right now. We're in a huge pandemic. If we were able to control that, we would be partying right now, but that's not the case. I'm in a quarantine facility right now. So maybe to a certain extent we can control, but it's always fun. Ultimately, you can't control even sickness. And I would also like to add breathing, because if you think about it, you can't control your breath. Maybe to a certain extent, but ultimately, I don't think so. I might be able to hold my breath for 100 meters, but end of the day, I have to come out and breathe. And what I take in, I have to let out. And what I let out, I have to take back in. So, you're not in control. So these are the factors of uncontrollability. And, okay, in other words, you realize that you are not in control, as I explained, and that there might not even be a you. So what I mean by that is, I think that's a bit more philosophical, because when you think about who you are, when you align that notion with the factors of uncontrollability, you realize that, okay, what do you mean me? I'm ultimately not in control, so how is there a me? So this is a big argument in some religions, right? There's not even a you. I was thinking, why do they say that? What do you mean There's no such thing as me. And this is what I can come up with as of right now, because ultimately when you think about the factors of uncontrollability, you are not in control. So what do you mean there's a you? You're gonna go away. So yeah, that there might not even be a you. This notion can be frightening, and as a result, desire is formed as an element of distraction. Okay, as an element of distraction from the truth. The truth being that you are not in control. So why I say that it can be frightening is that if you actually look at the mind, when the mind realizes that they aren't in control, it's a bit frightening, isn't it? It's a bit frightening to realize that you are a human being who is not in control of what you are. Since you realize that you are not in control, and when I mean you, I mean even your ancestors, or maybe the first human, or even the primates, when their mind realizes that they aren't in control, they created a component called desire, or rather an element called desire, because now they want to be in control. They created this notion of wanting to be in control, this attachment, because that's something that they couldn't get. That's something that we can't get, you and me. So now we create a component called desire, which is wanting something, wanting control. The first act of desire was probably wanting control of the uncontrollabilities. Now desire is like a paintbrush. Sorry, I apologize for that. I just had to get a temperature check. Anyways, so now your mind realizes that you're not in control, and the first act of desire, as I said before, was the desire to be in control, because you realize that you are not in control. Now you want that attachment, as I said before. I'm not going to keep repeating that. So now, with that, as I said, okay, I was talking about desire being like a paintbrush. Okay, now desire, why I say that is because desire is like touching every thought in your head. It's just, it's like a loose paintbrush. It's just touching every notion in your head, starting with the fundamental needs for a human to survive: food, sleep, taking a shit, taking a shower. So best explanation is food. You get regular food. Now desire is like a paintbrush, as I said. It's touching the notion of food, the requirement for food. Now you want fancy food. Now you want you want sushi. You want all sorts of food. You want McDonald's. Desire. It's desire. You want a fancy toilet right now. You want a fancy toilet. You want fancy toilet paper. You want a fancy shower. It's all of that. Nothing's gonna be enough. You always want more. So, because now that you've imprinted the notion of control, it's never gonna stop. Even if you get hold of something, ultimately and fundamentally, within your mind, that you're actually not in control. Although you hold all of these things, although you achieve all of these attainments. So that's why it's never gonna be enough until you realize this. So you're gonna keep on wanting this social media. It's never gonna be enough. 1 million followers, never gonna be enough. I need more. If people are like really into it. I need this much money? Nah, I need more. It's never gonna be enough. Why? Because we have to realize why. That's the whole point of this. As I said, desire, it's like a paintbrush. It's touching everything in our head. You need to understand why it does that, then you need to stop it. Okay, this notion can be frightening, and as a result, desire is formed as an element of distraction, a paintbrush, from the truth, and also as a component which pursue control. As I said, desire is basically wanting control, isn't it? If you actually think about it. We set goals, we set objectives, we set tasks, but if you actually think about it, achieving them is having a bit of control. Having a glance of control. Yes, I achieved this. Now what? Well, my friend, you are not in control yet. Okay, new goal. Let's go. Let's get it. You achieve that, maybe? Well, Are you still in control? No. You want more. But that's how it works, man. That's how it works. And that's why desire is such an important component which we need to understand. And this isn't some spiritual, hippie explanation. This is the truth if you actually think about it. It might be my opinion, but I don't know, I'm still learning. But desire is a bitch. Can be amazing, but it's also a bitch. Anyways, I think we can end the video with that. If you have any questions, put it down in the comments, DM me, whatever. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you learned something, and I'll try and be a bit more consistent, but it's hard to be consistent with what I do because there's a lot of thinking going on, and I have to think and figure out new things, and it's not easy. Anyways, but I will definitely try and be more consistent, and I'll see you guys soon. Thank you.